Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for championship boxing. Would you please welcome, making his way now into the arena, the challenger. Here comes the warrior, Anthony Farnell.
Well, the last time we saw him, Anthony Farnell, he was on the graveyard shift at nearly midnight with the crowd very thin, feeling probably like a rock star who was having to play at the village hall these days. Well, he's back in the spotlight tonight, but this might just about be the last chance for Anthony Farnell. And I tell you something, he knows it. His pre-fight quote is, "I know I've got to win this fight, and I am going to win it." But one or two limitations have been exposed for Farnell. What you know you're going to get every time with him is dedication, determination and pressure. He's been in some good fights along the way, but has he been found out? Can he beat the upstart Murphy?
Well, you just have to wonder. He's been in some tremendous battles, some punishing battles. Have they left a mark? He's only 25, time is still on his side, but he'll be really looking forward to this, and I think he'll be delighted at the chance to get back hunted to win this title back that's come so quickly. He'll be fired up. He knows he's the edge in experience. He's probably tougher than Murphy. Murphy is maybe naturally bigger than Farnell, but he'll look upon this as a wonderful opportunity. I'm sure he fancies himself in the job tonight, and this should really be a cracker.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way to the ring, the proud champion from Uddingston in Scotland, Lawrence Murphy.
Well, it was a spectacular arrival in the big time last time for Lawrence Murphy with that right hand that left Wayne Alcock dangling on the bottom rope. Is he going to do something as explosive as that again tonight? I think if he does, Jim, people will really start talking about him. If he does that to Farnell as well.
Well, I don't expect that, Ian, but I think temperament is so important. Although he's inexperienced, temperament is so important, and I was really impressed by his temperament last time out against Alcock. You can see the look on his face, just as we're seeing now. He loves this, he fancies the job, he reckons he's good enough to back up the position he has in the fight game. We're about to find out, but good luck to him, but this is a far tougher job than the Alcock job.
Yes, I think we'll find out a lot more about what Lawrence Murphy has tonight. He's 28 already, 3 years older than Farnell, who appears to have been around forever, it seems like that anyway. Murphy's taller, has a reach advantage. They both made the 11 stone 6 pound limit with a little bit to spare, not much. Farnell a pro since 97 and Murphy since 98, but Murphy's been struggling with injuries, which is why he's only had 14 fights in that time. Farnell much more battle-hardened and experienced, and with a decent, respectable knockout record of 60% stopped.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening once more, and welcome to the magnificent Braehead Arena here in the city of Glasgow, Scotland. Tonight, Frank Warren Sports Network, www.frankwarren.tv, Braveheart Security, and Verve proudly present 12 3-minute rounds of boxing form, the WBU's middleweight championship of the world. Welcome to viewers watching live and exclusively on Sky Sports. The officials have been appointed by the World Boxing Union and the British Boxing Board of Control. President for the World Boxing Union at ringside is Mr. John Robinson from Nordoff in Norfolk, who is also the commissioner. Timekeeper at the bell from the British Boxing Board of Control, Ricky Gilmore from Glasgow. The 3 scoring judges at ringside this evening are all from England: Carl Rogers, Reg Thompson and Tony Walker. Finally, when the action commences, the referee taking part tonight in his 95th world title contest, star referee Mr. Dave Paris from Edmonton in North London. And so, introducing the boxers themselves, presenting to you, fighting out of the red corner wearing the silver-coloured shorts trimmed with black. At the weigh-in yesterday, he scaled 11 stones, 5 3/4 pounds. He has an outstanding record, 35 contests, 32 wins. 21 of those wins coming by way of knockouts with only 3 defeats. He comes to the ring as the former World Boxing Union's middleweight champion. He is the challenger this evening from Manchester, Anthony the Warrior Farnell. And opposing him, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the white coloured shorts trimmed with silver and black. At yesterday's weighing, he scaled 11 stones, 5.5 pounds. He also has an excellent record, 14 contests, 13 wins. 6 of those wins coming by way of knockout and 1 draw. Tonight making the proud first defense of his title, presenting the WBU's middleweight champion of the world from Oldingstone in Scotland, the undefeated Lawrence Murphy. Referee Dave Harris will now give his final instructions, 12 rounds.
Boys, I spoke to you both in the dressing room, you know I expect you to defend yourself at all times and break when I tell you to, okay? Listen to me at all times, right? Shake hands, boys. Come on, shake hands. Good luck.
Dave Paris, the experienced referee. This big Farnell fan club who've travelled up from Manchester for this fight, and already there's been cause to just tell them to keep the lid on their emotions a little. So we hope everyone's behaving themselves here. This is a huge night for Farnell, fighting really for his very career as anything like a top liner, even domestically. The white trunks of Lawrence Murphy, who exploded onto the scene, quite literally, with that right hand that sent Wayne Alcock into unconsciousness. Farnell gets there with a left hand. He's now trained by Oliver Harrison, by the way. Farnell, he seems to be doing a tour of the Manchester fight gyms.
That seems to be the thing these days, chop and change every defeat, I think. I think the first problem for Farnell is if he can cope with the jab of Murphy. If he can, then Murphy's going to be in big trouble, because I'm sure that'll be his main weapon, certainly in the early stages. He's quite happy to back off, try to counter. Farnell sometimes has a problem when he's too fired up and he does silly things. You have to settle down against a slick boxer and pick your openings.
Farnell has only been stopped once, and that was when Takaloo knocked him out in the first round in what at the time was a huge upset. Oh, and a right hand from Farnell! Dex Murphy, who's angry with himself. There's a turn-up. Mandatory 8 count. Breakthrough for Farnell, round 1.
Well, big problem for Murphy, Ian, because he was doing the right things and he still got nailed, so that is big problems. Chin a little bit too high, Farnell took full advantage of it.
One of the questions in this fight, as he's hit again by the right hand, is was that a freak win for Murphy last time out, or was it indicative of a major talent arriving? Tonight will tell us more. That's not a great start, though, for Lawrence Murphy.
Murphy must have been looking to pile up the points in the early rounds. That must have been the main part of the strategy. That is a disaster, losing a big round, the first round. That's going to go against him 10-8 unless he turns this around. That is a disaster for Murphy.
Well, we know what Farnell brings. We've seen him enough, and what he brings may well be enough. Another right hand. He can't miss with that. Tries to go southpaw for a moment there, did Murphy.
Murphy's jab is not keeping Farnell away, and that's his big problem. He needs more snap into it. It's early days, the fight hasn't settled down yet. There are big problems already for young Murphy.
Well, I thought Farnell might come out quite circumspect here, Jim, having seen that knockout of Alcock last time and feel his way in the fight. But all the time, it's Farnell who's on the attack.
I think when you're the one with the experience, I think you have to make that play. You bring it into play straight away as soon as you possibly can, and that's what he's done. Good old pro, good right hand. He's not missing, as you say, with that right hand.
There was a nice left uppercut as well in that exchange from a confident Farnell who's really fired up and won the first round big. That wasn't in the script, was it, Jim?
It certainly wasn't. I'm sure Murphy's camp must have been thinking this fight's going to be tough in the second half if it goes that long, but you should be able to nick some rounds into the bank. in the early parts, but the opposite has happened. He's doing the right things, he's throwing the good jab, his chin was a little bit high, he was moving around the ring well, but he wasn't hurt, he was embarrassed. As soon as he landed, you could see him thumping the canvas, more embarrassed, if you like, than hurt. There he goes, banging the canvas. But that was a disastrous start. But I think what was more disastrous was the amount of right hands that were getting through in the first round. Murphy must find an answer.
Well, he's still quite inexperienced, isn't he, Murphy? Only 14 fights in 6 years.
That's what we have to remember, and 13 of those were against journeyman type opposition, so this is a massive step for him.
And he's only ever fought 2 men with more wins than losses. So still quite raw. Another dramatic first round involving Murphy here, but of a quite different nature this time. Farnell in the greys, silvery type trunks from Manchester, of course. Arnie, as he likes to call himself, the warrior.
Well, Murphy must look for the punch to discourage Farnell a little bit, give him something to think about. He must land a couple of big shots just to get him thinking a little bit negatively, because he is really on fire at the moment, Mr. Farnell.
Murphy's defence has been found wanting here. Now rather right hand over the top, jets him. Again he gets up too quick on very unsteady legs, and he's inexperienced here. Murphy up too quickly. Legs betrayed him when he didn't get up. He staggered along the ropes. Farnell might take him out here for a big win. Another right hand goes in. Those 2 match. There's a cut as well by Farnell's eyes. Hanging on for dear life here, Lawrence Murphy. His 15 minutes of fame might be up, Jim.
It looks like it at the moment. Farnell, with his experience, should be settling down here and picking these shots. He's going a little bit erratic, but there goes that right hand again, which just cannot miss.
Murphy's legs have gone at the moment. Gets him with a good right to the body. He's a tough kid, says as his manager, Alex Morrison. A lot of bottle, he'll need it here.
Well, this is what he needs. He needs to show Farnell there's power coming in the other direction. He has to hurt Farnell and do it quickly, but if his balance is gone, then the power will not be in the punches. I don't see him doing that.
Farnell isn't hungry here, he's ravenous. Needs the win, and this is so positive. He's producing, so far, a superb performance, Farnell. The only videos he'd ever seen of Murphy was the knockout of Alcock, and there wasn't much of that.
Just wonder how long it would take Murphy to recover from this. These have really been punishing punches, and the knockdown when he got back up again, he was in very unsteady legs. I wonder if he's shaking the effects of those punches yet.
It's a long, long way back. If he's going to claw his way in the fight, he tries to switch it. Farnell's not worried at all about that. He'll keep driving forward. He's got a cut by the left eye, Farnell, as he lands with another right hand. Bit of blood, it's getting thicker by that left eye of Farnell as the drama increases here at the Braehead Arena just along the road from Glasgow Airport.
See, Murphy's been on the floor, he's losing the round. This is what he should be thinking, right? Just see this round out, box behind Farnell, don't take any more punches, get my head clear, but he doesn't have the experience to do that. He's trying to trade and turn it around. It's the wrong thing to do at this moment.
Well, it's great so far for Farnell. Two 10-8 rounds, 2 knockdown rounds for Farnell. Willie Connolly, Michael Murphy, who's the father of Lawrence, in the corner with John McNair. This is a crisis for him.
Certainly, and a crisis he's never had to deal with before. He's never been anywhere near this level, and you can see how cleanly the right hands are getting through. His chin is far too high, and it's too late to change his style now. He needs those hands up. He needs to be using his legs to step out of trouble, but his lack of experience is really being displayed tonight. Serious trouble. You can see that how cleanly these right hands are getting through. He's annoyed again, but he jumped up too quickly because he was still badly stunned.
His pride was damaged. He wanted to say to Farnell, okay, I'm on the floor, but I'm not badly hurt, but he was.
Yeah, but, and pride is also a sign of inexperience.
Third round. This for the WBU middleweight title.
Well, Murphy has to hurt Farnell in this round. He has to turn it around, has to give him something to think about. Has to land some big punches here.
By the way, Farnell looking to regain this particular belt tonight. That right over the top has come up with pay dirt every time for Farnell here. Murphy hits gloves. His Glasgow fans getting behind him, but I think he's still fighting through something of a fog at the moment.
And one other thing you have to say about Farnell, he's a good 12-round fighter. I've seen him in some tough battles where he can still turn it on in the last 3 rounds. So I wonder, can Murphy match that staying power if it goes that long? Although at this moment, I'm wondering if it will.
Can Murphy produce one of those haymakers in the way that he did against Alcock? Maybe he can just turn things around by getting Farnell on the back foot. This is a bit better with the left jab.
Better now. Good stiff jabs. That's what's needed. He has to find the power in the jab to stop the march forward of Farnell.
Down again. 3 rounds of the fight, and he's been down in every round. Murphy. Question about his punch resistance here, because Farnell doesn't usually do this to his opponents.
That looked like a finisher, Ian. That looked like a finisher.
He's got him here. He's going to have to stop it. He's over. It's a great night of redemption for Arnie Farnell. He's back, and Murphy's 15 minutes of fame are up.
That was unusual, Ian. The most sickening punch that Murphy had to take was that last one, which didn't actually put him on the floor. As soon as that punch landed, I knew it was over. That was a sickening shot, just robbed him of everything he had left. Tremendous performance from Anthony Farnell. He knew exactly what was required here. From the first bell, he set about the task perfectly, and he's got the perfect result. Commiserations to Murphy, but he's had his chance. He'll come back from this, but it may take a little bit of time.
Didn't know enough, though, did he, to deal with the experience and battle-hardened qualities of Anthony Farnell, who has had his limitations exposed once or twice in the past, knocked out by Takalou, outboxed by Alcock, and so on and so forth. The close one against Grunewald, which he avenged. But there's no arguing with that. It's a great win, one of the greatest wins of his career, I'd say.
Yeah, he did everything right. His boxing was controlled. Sometimes he's a little bit erratic at times, especially when there's a man hurt. But there you can see a knockdown. Every good, clean, solid shot seemed to put Murphy on the floor because his chin was too high and he was taking the full force of the punches. With experience, you learn to ride the shot, you learn to catch part of the punch on your glove. But he was taking every shot bang on the chin with the full force of the punch, having the impact.
Just for good measure, it was a left hook.
Well, it was the punch just before this one that really sickened him, really took all of the fight away from him. I don't know if lack of experience again, if he thought in that position Farnell would have to stop punching. But for me, at that point, the fight was over. Yeah.
He turned his back as well. The ref had to step in at that point. Murphy hardly knew where he was. And I think really he was in deep, deep water from the first round on tonight.
So I think a sickening punch had just landed just before he turned his back here, and the referee picked the perfect time. I think we could see what was on the cards tonight.
And just look how big this win is for Anthony Farnell, a man who was really looking into oblivion in his career, has rescued it tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 1 minute and 36 seconds of round number 3, referee Dave Paris has called a halt to the contest. In his opinion, Lawrence Murphy was in no position to continue. Your winner, and he is the new World Boxing Union's middleweight champion of the world from Manchester, the Warrior, Anthony Farnell. And your appreciation, please, by fine ex-champion who I'm sure can come back from this defeat, Lawrence Murphy. World Boxing Union representative Thomas Jones will now present the championship belt to the winner, Anthony Farnell.
Remember when Michael Gomez came up from Manchester to Scotland to shock Alex Arthur? It feels a little bit like that here as Farnell, his buddy, does the same thing in Glasgow this time. It was Edinburgh last time. But the victory means just as much to Anthony Farnell. We started tonight by saying take nothing for granted. Scott Harrison will have heard the boos in the arena here because the local hero has gone down to defeat. and he will know not to take anything for granted as he prepares for our top of the bill tonight. Scott here in good time and getting bandaged solidly, safely, professionally ahead of his WBO World Featherweight title defence against the Colombian Walter Estrada. Anthony Farnell is back and Ian Darke is going to talk to him.
And he can't keep the smile off his face. That's the biggest win of your career, isn't it?
That was a massive win. I just want to thank everyone at Oliver, everyone in the gym, Michael Jones for the brilliant sparring.
He was sparring with you.
He was brilliant. Now let's have a sparring as well. But Michael Jones, he was perfect for this, and I just want to thank all the team and all the lads in Manchester. They had a lot of support from Phoenix camp as well.
It looked like your career, if you'd lost that fight, was effectively over as a top liner. So tell us what that win means to you.
That win means a lot. That was shit or bust tonight. I trained like a madman. So I've been to America training, a lot of sparring. I knew I was feeling perfect, but anything can happen in the boxing ring, and it was just it was fantastic.
The right hands seemed to do the trick for you. Had him down in every round. There was a left hook as well, just for good measure, I think.
Yeah, I don't use my right hand a lot, and Oliver's been practicing it all the time. He said it's my best punch. I always seem to go left hook upper. He said your right hand's your best. I've been practicing the right hand all the time, especially for him because he was tall and he throw a jab and his head was in the air, so counter with right hand.
Great night of redemption for you tonight. I suppose the next thing is the return with Alcock, isn't it?
Well, Joe, Wayne's...
He outboxed you before.
Yeah, he outboxed me. Wayne's a good fighter. I begged for a rematch with Wayne Alcock. He won't take it. He won't take it. It's Lawrence Murphy instead. So he'll have to beg me for a rematch now. I'll see what happens if I'll take him or not. He didn't give me another shot, so why should I?